Got crib and all kinds of other stuff. I'm getting ready to learn how to put together and
Oh yeah,
do that whole.
we're on the opposite end of it.
On the opposite end of
We're
it.
on the opposite end of all that.
So where are you at? What's the opposite end look like?
We ain't having no more kids.
Right.
Like we're 4 deep. We're good. So like you're building cribs. I'm putting cribs in the attic.
Right.
We're giving them to other people.
Yeah, starting to see if someone else needs them.
Yeah.
Clearing out some space. Starting to. Yeah. I bet
fun.
that's. Yeah. Is that a little bit of a gut punch though? It's kind of like we're getting older. Time's
Maybe
moving
a little
on.
bit. Maybe a little bit.
Or are you glad that phase is? If you had to pick, obviously I would never ask you to like pick your favorite version of your children, but it's like, do you like the younger age, or as they're getting older, do you find that to be more interesting?
Definitely, it's so like that 3 to 6 year old range is a ton of fun. Like they kind of get out of that, they just cry about everything. They start just becoming more fun to talk to. They're carrying on full conversations. But now we're at the opposite end of that. Like with our oldest, she's 13, and dude, everything is an argument. Everything. She'd argue and tell you you're wearing, like, if you're like, I've got, kind of a blue colored shirt.
Right.
She'd be like, no, it's kind of got some gray and maybe some white mixed in.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Okay, but it's blue at the heart of it.
Yeah. It's that real technical age. I know what you're talking about.
Oh.
It's that, the technicalities. That might be a pet peeve of mine that's up there and like might crack a top 3.
Yes.
Whenever I think about it. That technicality, little nitpicking shit that will drive me up.
Intentional.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe at first it's like, maybe them just their brains expanding and learning. Sure. But then they learn, they're like, oh.
Ask me why. Like, I'm good with explaining why.
Yeah.
But there's a point where, like, when you're just like, why?
Right.
Why?
Right.
Why again?
Yeah.
And you're like, quit. And I always said, man, I'm like, I'm not going to be the parent that just says, because I said so.
Sure.
Like, I'm dad and I said so.
Sure.
Dude, I'm there.
Oh, yeah.
Like, there's times where I'm like, I don't have anything else to say other than shut up because I'm the dad. Do what I said because I'm the dad. I don't need to explain to you why to do the dishes.
Sure.
Like, do the dishes because I said so.
Well, I mean, that was a discussion I had with my father multiple times as a child.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, it worked.
Sure.
And whenever it got to that point, it was like, because I said, I knew that was like end of the line.
Yeah.
Like the next time was like ass whipping time.
Yeah.
That's where I was at.
Yeah.
So yeah, I know what you're talking about. Man.
So it's fun. So yes, the baby phase, there's parts of me that misses the baby phase. And I know this is far off, but like, I think like, my baby phase isn't probably over because I've got 4 daughters and I'm going to have grandkids probably in the next 10 years.
Sure.
Like that's the reality of it.
Yeah.
Like there's a very high chance, that in the next 10 years, I probably will have grandkids of some sort, 10 to 15.
This 10 years seems so short. You're like, oh God, 10 years. Yeah. It's going to be here fast. That's right where I'm at. Corner. Yeah, dude. It used to be like, time was moving so slow. You thought it was never going to be. And now I think like 10 years ahead and I'm like panicking, I'm acting like it's tomorrow. Yeah. I'm like, oh my, we got to start now. Like, or we're never going to make it,
Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Zach Oxford, I appreciate it. Coming back over. It's good to see you again.
You too.
Always fun to sit down. Get your opinions on things. The last week, man. The last time that we saw each other, I don't know. I can't remember exactly what was going on or that the last time we did a podcast, but I remember after we did that last podcast and you were leaving and we were kind of talking in the hallway for a minute and we were having a conversation, something along the lines of like, it's like spiritual warfare. And we're like, there's like something else going on and like you can feel it. I remember having that conversation with you before you left. And then, here we are however many months later.
Yeah.
And the events of last week with Charlie Kirk take place. And that's what immediately, well, not immediately, but after just kind of looking over it, and then I saw you had made a post, and I think that's whenever I texted you. it was like, I'd love to sit down and get your opinions and kind of talk about it. It's, yeah, I'm still, it's still like just like mind boggling. I don't know. Like every time I open my phone and I see it and like we can get into the, maybe whys of it or whatever, like later on, but none of it makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
It's like Charlie's been doing this for going on 15 years here in a year or two. Going on 15 years he's been doing this. The opinions have been the same throughout his whole tenure doing what he did. His career was, he never, wavered from his beliefs that he was still preaching up until the day he died. It was the exact same.
Yeah.
And so it's like, it doesn't make sense. It's like, why now? It's like, it just seems like it's kind of random. It was just so like, what? Like, wait. It's like, I didn't even know, it's kind of like, I guess I didn't, you don't realize that you were there.
Yeah.
Or maybe that's me being blind. I don't know.
We're in a weird place in America right now.
Yeah. It's, dude. And now we've got Jimmy Kimmel being, it's just like, everything is like, it's like, is this real?
Yeah.
Is this like, what is happening?
There's not like a middle ground.
Yeah.
It's this, there's polar opposites on both sides. And I don't like that necessarily. But it was emotional for me. Seeing Charlie Kirk get killed. I have watched Charlie Kirk for, I don't know, probably 5 years, just off and on. Just listen to his stuff. I got the chance this past Wednesday to talk to our youth group, and I just kind of made the comment. I've probably listened to 200 hours of Charlie Kirk, maybe more, over the past few years. And you're absolutely right. He never wavered. I think his beliefs got deeper, and I think they became more concrete over time. I think I mean, obviously we grow. And Charlie was a man that grew in his beliefs over time. He learned new ways to defend things. He had, I'm not going to say new, he didn't have new values, but he had just new ways to approach things, new ways to think about things. He was a very, very faithful man. And at the heart of it, he preached God. Like, that was the foundation of everything that he talked about, was like biblical belief. Whether it was politics, whether it was gender issues, whether it was race issues, like at the heart of it, he wanted a biblical foundation in a lot of stuff. Or I wouldn't say in a lot of stuff, in everything that he did.
Yeah.
He preached that, and kind of like what we were talking about through text message, a man is a man, a woman's a woman. Family is incredibly important, and we need to get back to a nuclear family.
Yeah.
Like, that's what he wanted. That's what he preached.
Yeah.
And he got killed over it. Like, he got assassinated on camera in front of millions.
That's what I referred back to in that podcast I did the other day talking about it. Was just like, very symbolic. That's like the only word I can, like, whenever I think about it, in the sense of just like it being live stream broadcasted, all over the world. Or I don't know about all over the world, but all over the country for sure. Multiple 3,000 students there. Kids at school.
Yeah.
Like,
his own
kids at school. His own family was there. And like, I spend way too much time on X. Okay.
Sure.
Especially now that Elon's taking it over, it's a wild place.
It's very wild.
I'm sure you're familiar with it, with what you do and stuff. But there's a lot of people that don't use X, or they stopped using Twitter way back. It got super left wing, and they were trying to shut everybody down, and Elon bought it. And I mean, free speech platform it is, buddy.
Very much. You can say anything.
You can see anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can go on there and you can find any of the wars in the Middle East and just catch like GoPro footage like it's a video game.
Yep.
of people clearing houses, people getting blown apart. I mean, it's insane of a place.
I go down that rabbit trail of is that healthy for us?
Oh, it's got to be so bad.
It's so bad. Level of like so like we've talked about, like I'm a cop, and there are things that I see that the everyday American doesn't need to see. Like, and that's not, I'm not saying that to, toot my horn, but just cops in general. You roll up on a car accident and you've got a dead body in there. You roll up on a shooting scene and, there's all kinds of just grotesque things that you see. That's not normal. Like, that's not normal. It doesn't need to be normal. People don't need to see. Kids can get on X. You can lie about your age. My 8-year-old daughter, she doesn't have social media, but my 8-year-old doesn't need to be able to log into a platform, or any 8-year-old child, and pull up war footage of someone's head falling off. Like, they don't, just even simply with Charlie, like, we don't need to keep replaying that. We don't need to keep replaying that video over and over and over. That's not healthy for us as humans.
Yeah, like, I completely agree. It's, I definitely, like, if just being complete, not even to be dramatic, but just like from the rabbit holes that I spent on platforms like X and the stuff that I've seen on those platforms, like, I wasn't that fazed by what I saw. Let's just say that. That's like, I'm just to kind of speak on just how insane of a platform it is. And I advise anyone that is like, I wouldn't let my kids on X. That's all I'm saying.
Oh yeah,
like
we've got this shock culture where we look for what's the next shocking statement, who's going to make that claim or say that thing that's like, can you believe he said this?
Right.
Can you believe that person said that? And we've become immune to things like crazy violence. We've become immune to seeing someone murdered on live TV.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's not good.
Whenever I first saw it, I texted Riley and was like, I was like, someone just shot Charlie Kirk. And she was like, really? And I was like, you haven't seen it? I was like, it's everywhere.
Yeah.
And she said, I haven't seen it. And I texted her and I was like, if you're not really in the mood to see that video, I was like, maybe don't watch it. I was like, it's pretty gnarly. That's all I'm saying. And she watched it, and she texted me and she was like, that's insane. Like,
yeah.
I asked her, I was like, have you seen a video like that? Like, have you ever like that? And she was like, no, like, that's not.
It's like something out of a movie. And there, we have disassociated, like when we see someone, something like Saving Private Ryan, that's kind of a gory type war movie. We see that on a movie and we're like, but that's a movie. And now we're getting to the point where something like Charlie Kirk, where this is a real human being, a real father, a real husband, right there in front of us get murdered, and there's no like gut check, there's no like spike in blood pressure, there's no like, we say wow, but we're just like,
keep
next
scrolling.
video. Yeah.
Keep scrolling.
Yeah.
It's
that doomsday scroll.
Oh yeah, I'm so bad at I would hate to even like look at my screen time and I'd be embarrassed. I will
credit check that on camera.
I will credit a lot of it to like stuff that I look up, like podcast guests, that kind of stuff. I spend a lot of time doing that. So not all of it's just pointless scrolling.
Sure.
Some of it is. But yeah, I couldn't believe that video whenever I got on Facebook and saw it on Facebook, and I saw the beginning of it and I saw the caption, and so I was anticipating what was coming, but I was like, it's gonna end, right? I was like, it's gonna stop. I was like, on Facebook, I was like, it's gonna stop. I was like, this is an X video. This is not a Facebook video, And it showed it, and I was like, whoa, hold on a second.
Yeah.
I was like, Facebook, and then I started thinking about all the people on Facebook of all ages. They're getting ready to open Facebook.
Yeah.
And, like I said, you hear about these things, of course, but like just to be so, I mean, I don't know. I couldn't believe that it was just being so pushed so heavily all over the place. That's what blew my mind. I couldn't believe that it didn't get taken down earlier. Like, or at least on Facebook or TikTok, I was like, how did it make it? I was like, I've never seen, I was like, and as someone, I was like, again, I don't really go look. My algorithms pretty much got a hold of me by the balls at this point. And whenever I
yeah.
pull it up, it's just like, I know what this idiot wants, and it just starts showing me stuff. But not on Facebook. Ever. I've never come across that kind of video on Facebook.
Yep.
Maybe they're out there, but I just feel like, as someone that's like, I see some wild videos on X, okay? Like, I got a pretty disgusting algorithm on X, if I'm just being honest. And I've never seen that stuff on Facebook. Sure. And so that's what originally, obviously, the whole scenario, originally I was like, of course this is awful. But at first also I was like, we don't know what happened. So as awful as it is, it's like, I can't really look more into than that until I find out more. But then, so the next thing that popped in my mind, I couldn't stop. I was like, I can't believe this is just on Facebook. And that's what blew my mind out. I was like, what? And that's why it was like, I think so symbolic. I was like, this was like, part of me thinks this was like pushed, on purpose. It's like a sign, a sign from who? I don't know.
You get down that conspiracy theory rabbit trail.
Oh, my life's been hell this last week, dude. I haven't slept.
I get it.
I haven't slept. If I'm up and I'm not doing something, I'm checking. What's the news update?
What's the update?
Because I think we've established, I think it's fair to say at this point, when the FBI gets involved in these reports, it can be kind of spotty. Like, I don't think that's like a crazy thing to say,
I don't think so. I think there's holes in this investigation.
Yeah, you want to break it down? What
we can. I've not watched. I've seen just a few breakdown videos of like, here's the information and what we have. Here's what we know. But then I also question, like, I'm seeing most of that from like a mainstream news source. So how true is, like, what all information does the because I know I'll say this. So I know with even like local level investigation here in Evansville, there's only a certain amount that we can put out to the public. And reason for some of that is if, say we do a press release on like a major murder, one side of me believes like the public is entitled to know about this. Like, they need to know some of the information. They need to know some of the facts.
Right.
They need to know this is what we have so far in this investigation. But I also know from a legal standpoint that if this is something that ever comes down to like a jury trial, if, Evansville's a city of 115, 120,000, somewhere in there, so many people are going to see that. And
Word
then
spread fast.
It jades them when it comes time for a jury. So I think about like Charlie Kirk. Say that if this is the shooter, if this truly is the shooter, who's under arrest right now, when it comes time for a jury trial, just think like, you've got to have 12 unbiased people, and you're not really, you want to find people that don't know a lot of details of the case. So if you put all that out to the general public, that's going to jade a trial. And my question, like, we were sitting in the office watching when Kash Patel made the statements about this is what information we have, the governor made the statements, this is what we have, the sheriff made the statements, this is what we have. I think we were watching on Fox News. Like, we're watching this in the office, and our conversation is like, how is this going to potentially hurt a jury trial, 2 years from now or 3 years? Especially, they're looking at the death penalty for this guy.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that's a 15 to 20 year process. Like, if you think this guy...
Dude, these people want him dead yesterday.
Yeah.
Yesterday.
And part of my gut thinks, like, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Like, I feel that. But at the same time, I also know we have due process in the United States for a reason. Like, I see both arguments there.
Yeah, I think... Yeah, you got to get answers first. You have to. You have to.
Sure.
You watch... Yeah, you have to get answers first before you just go and kill this guy.
Yeah, and I see the information that they put out. So, like, what all they say? He takes the shot, and then he disassembles this rifle. Like, puts part of it in the backpack, shoves part of it down his pant leg, then he jumps off the roof. But with that being said, when you watch the video, if it was the shooter that they have in the background, like, there's a clip where it shows like, pow. and then you immediately see him
see
run.
that guy run.
Like, that rifle,
there was no way.
That bolt action cannot be broken down that quickly.
Not
like,
in seconds.
Like, I'm a gun guy. I love guns. Like, I have lots of guns, and I feel like I'm good with my guns. But I can't do that. I can't do that with something easy like an AR. Like, an AR is very easy to break down. A bolt action is a lot harder. And then this guy just left the screwdriver up there, like on top of the roof. Like, I don't know. I have lots of questions about that. So is this the FBI is putting out maybe, not all of the pieces? Was that the shooter on the roof, or was that something else? Was that video footage edited? Like, I have lots of questions.
I don't think he was shot from the front. I don't.
Okay.
If you just want me to be honest.
Sure.
I don't buy it.
Okay.
I don't buy that whoever was up on the roof shot him. Like you said, I don't know that much about guns, but I've been watching these guys on YouTube that have just been dissecting this whole thing. And one guy was like breaking one down and going through it, and then they timed up, after the shot, and then you see him run, and they're just like...
I'm cautious with the people that I watch on YouTube, because I see these guys get on there. And say, man, this took a professional sniper to make this kind of shot.
Oh, no, I don't think
super
that.
skilled. This was someone that was, probably a hired hitman that had done this thing many times. Not a chance. Like, I
got 5 buddies that could put one, within pretty close to the area.
I could give you the rifle that I carry on duty. We could go out 20 minutes from now. If we had a target lined up that's the size of a pie pan, you could hit it. Like, that's with no magnification, nothing. That's just a simple red dot on a rifle. Yeah. You could make a 200-yard shot within, I would say, if you had zero practice ever, you could hit it within 5 shots. So someone that is shot just a little bit could go out and make that shot, especially with a scope. This whole thing about he had to gauge for like the wind and the drop. Yeah. He didn't have to do none of that. Like, that is not a hard shot. We were shooting 300 meters in the Army, like in basic training with iron sights at 300 meters. Like, that was and that's with a very small caliber rifle.
That's what I'm like. And if they're saying it was a 30-06, again, I don't know a lot about guns, but it's not a small gun.
No.
And as close as it was,
take down a moose with that.
Yeah, as close as it was, people are going into like all these factors, and I'm like, dude, as close as he was, I'm like, I don't think that really mattered. I don't think he's far enough out, no matter where the shooter was set up from. I don't think that matters.
No.
Unless he was like, I don't know, 500 yards out or something. But it was like, no, this guy, no matter where he was at, because the way they were set up down inside that amphitheater, like, they had to be close. Like, pretty close.
Yeah.
And so... yeah, so right off the bat, it's like everyone I'm seeing is saying the same thing. There's no way that this guy breaks this gun down in seconds and then gets down off the roof.
And then there's this false flag guy that all of a sudden is just like, I'm the shooter.
George Zinn is his name.
Yeah.
81 years old. They just arrested him on pornography. How crazy is that?
He was at the World Trade Center. Whenever it...
No. I don't believe he was at the World Trade Center, but he was in 9/11 propaganda later on, immediately after claiming
that's what it was.
That Al Qaeda had did it.
Yeah.
Immediately right after.
Is he Jewish man?
He's Jewish.
Yes.
Go figure. That's a whole other rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm in here. I'm telling you. It's so bad.
Yeah.
But to me, again, these things are like really, it's like becoming very obvious to me that I'm like, no. I'm like, this is bigger. I just don't buy that just some deranged left just went and shot him because he felt like it that day.
No.
You're
not going to convince me of that. No. Now, with that being said, I don't know that I swing all the way to the other side of this was like
Israel,
Mossad. Like, there's some wild stuff with Israel right now. Don't get me wrong. Like the Mossad. There's some wild stuff going on. I don't know that this guy was Mossad. I don't know if it's to that level. I don't know if this was just a he was somehow coerced into doing this. Do I think that he was probably in contact with higher powers, like within governmental stuff? Yes. How high that goes, I don't know. I mean, maybe it could get real deep.
Yeah, I think it goes all the way to the top, is what I think.
It may. I'm not going to say you're wrong there.
There's just a lot of conveniences, it seems like to me.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people are saying that, a lot of people I'm saying that are kind of defending, they're, super pro-Israel, and they're kind of saying that, it would be dumb to shoot Charlie Kirk. He was, he loved Israel, which, he did for a very long time. If you start to go back and look over the last couple of months, he gets very, very, he starts asking some pretty dangerous questions.
Yeah.
He made the comment on the PBD podcast saying, his words exactly. He was trying to think of a way to word it, and
he said, "I have to be careful about how I word this."
And then he said, "I'm just going to say it." He said they're trying to ethnically cleanse Gaza.
Yes.
He said they're trying to remove 2.5 million people.
Yeah,
that's exactly what they're trying to do.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a crazy statement for a guy that has been pro-Israel. He's been the front runner, man, for Netanyahu and Trump, and supported everything they've done up until these last couple of months. Then you can get into this interview right here, the 48 hours before he died with Ben Shapiro. Whenever he started making, it was kind of joking, but like he was making the jokes. He's like, "Oh, he's like, you Jews, he's like, you own everything, you own the media." He was kind of being sarcastic, but like, and then he starts to question the stand down order on October 7th.
Yeah.
Which that video has now been removed off of YouTube. And then if you get into looking at, Israel just got done agreeing with a purchase with YouTube and Google. I think it was $45 million.
No kidding. I didn't know about that.
I'll check that before we get off here, but
Sure.
I read that on an article. They had just gotten involved in a deal with YouTube. And again, now I think they just officially came out and said that Netanyahu had offered him $150 million that he declined.
Yep.
Which
Candace Owens brought all this out. I don't know if you listened to her podcast.
I've seen.
I listened to the whole thing. I thought it was good. I had questions about some of it. But overall, I thought she did a good job breaking down just kind of asking the questions that we're all asking.
Yeah.
She reached out to people because I guess Netanyahu and Kirk and two other men, I don't remember their names, they had a meeting just prior to this, and that was the meeting where he declined the 150 million or however many millions it was. I guess during that, the text messages between Kirk and a few of the other men have been leaked somehow. I've not seen them, but Candace was alluding to, listen, I want answers or I'm going to release these text messages because Netanyahu's
the ones with Bill Ackman
and Dylan, is it Dylan something?
I can't remember. I was just reading about that with Bill Ackman. Yeah, he's one of the, what is he? One of the tech billionaires.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, he had just had that meeting. Yeah, and I can't remember that.
Netanyahu's statement to the world after this was, I feel so bad. Like, essentially like Charlie Kirk was a great friend of ours. But then it was like...
Netanyahu tweeted about Charlie Kirk's assassination before any other leader in the world, including Trump. Netanyahu is the leader of a country halfway across the world. He is currently in the middle of bombing 7 other countries and in the middle of a domestic political crisis. They've had hundreds of millions of people taking to the streets of Israel in protest of Netanyahu.
Mm-hmm.
The very first news anchor that reported on the Charlie Kirk assassination was the Jerusalem News Post.
Interesting.
The very first news post to post about it was from Jerusalem.
That's interesting.
Look, I'm not, I know what it sounds like, and it's like, it's kind of at the point where to me, it's just like in your face. It's like, It's out there. It's like, and then you want to get into AIPAC, and I got done looking at the list last night of all of our, because you can track your representatives or whatever, your from each state. You can track.
See who's supporting it and stuff?
Yeah. There's a website called trackAIPAC.com. And it just pulls up all 50 states. 7 out of the 8 of Indiana are all backed by AIPAC. I believe all of them but 1 or 2 of Illinois. I mean, everyone's backed by AIPAC. And all the ones that are backed by AIPAC, you see lobbying totals being extremely higher than all the rest. Up into these people you haven't heard of, and they've got lobbyist totals of 1.3 million backed by AIPAC, and you're like, what the hell? Like,
there's the rumors about Netanyahu being part of Mossad as well. Like, I view Mossad as they're deeper than like CIA. Like, do I think that CIA takes, like, at first my gut feeling initially was that the CIA was behind Charlie Kirk's assassination. That was my gut. That was my initial gut reaction, was this was probably CIA. The more that I've heard things, I'm not convinced that it wasn't Mossad.
I don't think those branches really fall too far from each other.
They probably don't. I think they're very much in bed with each other.
That's the point I'm getting to, where I think this is global. This is it's not.
Yeah.
That's my whole point with people that are ready to just, go at it, whether Republican versus Democrat, Democrat versus Republican, and people are ready to just, tear everyone apart.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I'm like, no. I'm like, you're missing it all.
Yeah.
You're missing it all. Like, the same people that Trump refusing to release the Epstein files, blowing up now at reporters for even asking about it. What is that? You just ran a whole campaign on the release of the Epstein files.
I know.
I voted for him, and I'm not proud of it right now to sit here and say it. That's like it's like, dude, you ran the whole campaign on like not going to war, and then on behalf of Israel, you bomb Iran because of some report of nuclear weapons. That, dude,
I get it.
A little deja vu. I think we've been here.
Yeah.
Like, how many times do you have to keep going over there?
I think those are fair questions to ask.
It's just like watching Kash Patel yesterday get grilled by the Senate on the Epstein files, and him just like, I mean, it's like talking to a toddler.
So
it's so, and I understand, like, he's very limited, I'm sure, but like, it's just the fact. It's not even the fact that there's like little answers. It's the fact there's none, and now it's the fact they're acting like it's not. It didn't even happen.
Yeah. Oh, like, I have questions about that. I personally don't think that Kash knows. I don't think he does.
No. Yeah, I think it's below him. I think he's just been told to zip it.
I think that the guy who was the Acosta, he's the one that initially did the investigation on Epstein, and I believe that
was 2018,
something like that. The investigation went back to, I think, 2007, 2008.
Yeah.
From what I've heard Kash testify to is that Acosta, he gave immunity if whoever it was, if they like tell us who these people are, and we're going to grant you immunity. Like we're not. It was like a no prosecution type thing.
Yeah, like a blanket
and
immunity.
I think it was. I think multiple people got a no prosecution. So, with that being said, he can't, and he might not even know who all has testified and said certain things because probably some of those documents have probably intentionally been just
shredded,
destroyed. So I think whenever he gets up on stand and he says, "What we have right now is the only evidence," because his comment has been the only physical evidence that we have is that Epstein was the only one doing this. Part of me believes that. Yeah. I think that a lot of those documents were destroyed
nothing left. Yeah,
before he ever came in. I don't think that it was Cash coming out and doing this. I think that this
yeah. I agree. I
think this was before him, and I think he's just getting up there, and he's also giving some political answers. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I should make that clear. It's not really that I don't think that I think Cash is just a little.
He's the pawn.
He's I think this is well below him.
The talking person for the cameras and all that.
So someone's got to take the heat.
Sure.
And it's going to be you.
Yeah.
That's just what it's going to be.
Yeah.
And that's probably what he's been told. Look, this is how it's going to be.
There's dark operators in FBI, CIA, DEA, ATF. We've found out about these people in the past, these people that, sold themselves out to the Russians or sold themselves out to the Chinese. They're getting fat paychecks from both sides of the aisle or from both countries, us and these other countries. They've been busted for drug smuggling. They've been busted for human trafficking. And these people have been given so much freedom to do their investigation, quote unquote.
Yeah, whatever that means.
Yeah, whatever that means. That they've just kind of gone AWOL and they're doing this thing where they're out, making money for themselves. They're blackmailing different people. It's kind of like Epstein. Like, I mean, the more that we hear about him, like, he truly was a pawn. Like, he wasn't some intelligent, smart man. Like he met the right people at the right time, and I think that he was probably part of the Mossad. From everything that we're kind of hearing, that's
what this video right here is. Also another video of Charlie Kirk himself talking about. This is no longer speculation. The evidence shows that Epstein was a creation of either Mossad, Israeli, or American intelligence.
Yeah, and I don't disagree.
It's no longer speculation. Like they tied, and then I can't remember exactly how he got his start
in banking. He was like a hedge fund person, and he started meeting the right big bankers. That he just kind of climbed the ladder, and probably somewhere along the way, he did something himself, nefarious. That someone was like, "We got this on you.
Yeah,
we're never going to talk about it unless you don't do this for us." Yeah. And I think that he personally got blackmailed, but I think that he was a smooth talking guy. Like, he was easy to talk to. He was relatable. I think that he just was a person. And I'm not. This isn't me saying this. This was someone like Charlie Kirk essentially saying that he was a person that countries, plural, many countries went to if they needed dirt on somebody or if they needed to create dirt on somebody. Yeah. I think it was things where it was, hey, listen, like the music industry scene. The music industry scene, how these people get popular is some of these big label artists, they come along and they say, hey, listen, we've got an event tonight. Your career, we want it to explode. We think you're the next big thing. Come to this event with us. You're going to meet people that are, top of the line in marketing and all this kind of stuff. Yeah. And it's going to change your life. These people go there. There's drugs involved. There's alcohol involved. There's all kinds of crazy partying. And what I think happens a lot of times is they get roped into having sex with somebody in a room where there's cameras. And then they come out and they're like, hey, listen, man, just so you know, like, they were 13, they were 14. We're never gonna let that out unless you don't do this for us.
Right.
So you walk this path, you're clean, you're good. And then, that person makes it big. They've got all the career, they've got all the fame, they got all the glory. And then, they're like, okay, now we need you to rope this next person in. And so it's this just chain event of roping people in, roping politicians. You can go down the whole Bohemian Grove, topic of people out there getting blackmailed.
The Freemasons
getting into Illuminati talk. I think the Freemasons are at the heart of a lot of this.
So, while we're just punching around some thoughts here, have you seen the conspiracies involving the Freemasons as far as all the stuff with Charlie Kirk?
Mm-mm.
if you get into like numerology.
Oh yeah.
You know, it was like 33 days before his birthday, and then like the hats that he had on the table set up were 47, and if you add 7, you know, it's like 1, and then the what's the on the Freemason, the symbol or whatever, it has a 33 on it, and then it's got like a
So they're saying that Charlie was a Freemason,
or maybe they were like involved in the hit. I don't know. It's all just what's the
like the triangle,
the compass or whatever, and it's got like the G on it. Well, like the degree of the compass is like 47 degrees.
Oh,
and like then the video of Erica whenever it was like over Charlie's casket, and she had on that big G, the ring, like the Freemason ring.
Interesting.
And people are like, "What ring is that?" And like, why? Like, what does that stand for? You know, very easily could just say God. She could say God. You know,
sure,
I don't know, but it's just kind of like, what? Like, what is?
Are we watching a movie before us?
Yeah, and there was this video I wanted to show you. I can't. I saved it, I think this morning. Yeah, I'll see if I can pull it up on here. But yeah, that's what a part of me is just like, how many conveniences, you know, like does there have to be before? And then like if you want to keep digging and you start to look into JD Vance,
sure,
who I really liked at first, and now I'm like, bro, I don't know. I think you're playing for the wrong country too. Like,
so I've not heard what's the story behind him?
Well, his mentor at the beginning was none other than Peter Thiel.
Okay. And if I'm not familiar with Peter Thiel.
Peter Thiel is the tech billionaire who's in charge of Palantir.
Okay.
You know, are you familiar with Palantir? Really?
I've not gone down this rabbit trail.
Oh, wait a second.
School me.
Oh, wait a second. So Palantir is the facial recognition technology that Israel is currently deploying to facial recognize Gazans and gun them down in the streets of Gaza. Okay? It's also this is a good one. I'm the Palantir is a software company. So let's see. Let me pull this up here. My computer's being slow here. Come on. So this is Peter Thiel. You haven't seen him? So people are convinced that he's a reptile.
Okay.
And that he's wearing a skin suit and that he's not real. He just had this interview with this like British guy. It was a podcast. You can look this up. It's on the internet. And the guy asked Peter Thiel if he thinks that the human generation should continue on. And the whole video was like this guy narrating it. And he was like, dude, Peter Thiel's PR team needs fired for letting him do this. He says, basically, do you think the human generation human species should continue, should endure?
Yeah.
I think that's how he said, should endure. And I think everyone I know would go, yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Probably. I think humans should continue to live on. Yeah. Probably. Yeah. That's not really a hard question, I don't think.
No.
And he hesitates for like 15 seconds. And the interviewer goes, he starts laughing. He goes, this is a long hesitation. Like, he's like, do you think that the human race should like continue to live on? And he goes, well, yes, but, and then he goes in like this crazy answer. And then he also just announced that he is giving a 4-part lecture on the Antichrist.
Okay.
Dude, this guy is a trip.
Interesting. Peter Thiel, Tiel.
Yeah. He was on, this is from The Guardian. So let's just take a look, see what this article's got to say. I would like for them to explain this Palantir better than a way that I can, so it would. So basically, yes, it says draw a circle around all the assets in the U.S. now devoted to AI. Draw a second circle around all the assets now devoted to artificial intelligence, or draw to assets devoted to the U.S. military. A third around all assets being devoted to helping the Trump regime collect and compile personal information on millions of Americans. And a fourth circle around the parts of Silicon Valley dedicated to turning the U.S. away from a democracy and into a dictatorship led by tech bros. Where do the four circles intersect? At a corporation called Palantir Technology and a man named Peter Thiel. Palantir is a seeing stone that can be used to distort truth, present. So this is all, that's kind of, sells AI-based platform, allows its users, among them military and law enforcement agencies, to analyze personal data, including social media profiles, personal information, and physical characteristics. They're used to identify and surveil individuals. It's all part of what they believe. More conspiracy theories. Think it all comes back around to the Project Esther.
Yeah.
Have you heard of this?
I've heard of it. Refresh me my memory on what that is.
It's a policy document released by the conservative think tank, the Heritage Foundation, in October of 2024, which calls it a national strategy to combat anti-Semitism. Okay. Critics, including many Jewish groups, describe it as a blueprint to suppress pro-Palestinian activism and progressive organizations by mislabeling them as Hamas. But the whole point of it kind of being wanting to basically, Trump is going to, they're kind of in the process of allowing this technology to be basically unrolled across the United States, and the whole point of it, what they're saying is to prevent crime, to stop the crime before it happens. Okay. That's like their whole thing.
Yes. So you could, yeah. So I have heard about this because the question came up. We were having the discussion at the office one day about so theoretically, you could be arrested because you fit a certain profile for committing a crime. You could be arrested or detained for, let's just say it's a scale of 1 to 10. You fit the criteria and you're a 9 out of 10. Therefore, I'm saying we, like the law enforcement people, deem you too much of a risk. So therefore, we're going to arrest or detain simply on the possibility or the likelihood that you're going to commit a certain crime.
Yes.
Which is wild.
All, again, going to be surveilled by this technology, this AI technology that can pick up on you. Again, all funded by tech billionaire Peter Thiel.
Sure.
Who owns Palantir, who, again, also, he's in military contracts, and he also sells this same stuff to Israel.
Yeah.
Okay.
Interesting.
Again, he's also the billionaire who fueled J.D. Vance's rapid rise to VP spot, a lot of people think.
That's interesting. I know AI is just starting to pop its head into like our local agencies. With you, like if you take back essentially what you say, and it generates an AI report, kind of like ChatGPT. Whenever you throw in a sentence in there, and you're like, "Make this sound better for Facebook," and it'll generate a whole big thing for you. So that's kind of the way that AI right now is getting into law enforcement. Now, with that being said, the we also have things like Flock, and that's not AI. Have you ever heard of the Flock system?
Mm-mm.
So Flock is 100% incorporated into Evansville, Warwick, Posey, Vandenberg, like all around. It's all across the United States too. Not every city, but it's across the United States. Flock is the Flock camera system. If you drive through Evansville and you see these poles that kind of look like your light stands here that have a little camera on top of them, it collects all license plate information. Every single license plate that drives past it, it's going to collect that vehicle information.
Yeah.
At face value, I don't look at that and I go, man, that's an infringement of my rights.
All right, we're back. Sorry about that, guys. I had a little internet issue pop up on us.
Peter Thiel kicked us off the internet.
We're of course right in the middle talking about AI and Peter Thiel, and my computer wants to freak out.
They're listening.
I wish I could get this off here so I could read this article. Thank you. What were we talking? Okay, so we were just talking about kind of the ties about Peter Thiel back to JD Vance.
Yeah.
If you've ever looked down that rabbit hole. Let's see. Yeah, Vance, being a relatively newcomer to national politics, has assiduously courted billionaires and Silicon Valley titans to bankroll his unlikely rise from best-selling memorist of despair, drugs, and generational poverty in Appalachia to a ticket that could seat him in a heartbeat away from the presidency. Yeah, big donors, particularly from the tech sector, provided the rocket fuel he needed to advance to electoral politics. Vance's most prominent benefactor over the years is Peter Thiel. The tech pioneer and investor, Thiel hired Vance at his global investment firm in 2017 and then nurtured Vance's political rise, donating $15 million to his 2022 Ohio Senate campaign, helping him win a closely fought GOP primary before going on to capture the seat in the general election. Vance received another $12 million after a fundraiser for Trump in June that included venture capitalists, I don't know how to say that name, and an early senior executive of Facebook, David Sachs.
David Sachs.
Yeah.
I've heard that name before.
He was a PayPal mafia.
Okay.
With Elon.
Yeah.
Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Peter Thiel was Elon Musk, David Sachs, all those guys, PayPal mafia.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. What
is there to go? Do you see it starting to come together?
Yeah.
They're
interesting.
This is what I'm saying whenever I'm like, no, it's all of them, dude.
Yeah.
They're all tied together. Once you relationship with Thiel has been most consequential for Vance. Their personal and financial ties formed long before Vance formally entered politics. At Yale Law, Vance attended a talk by Thiel about technological stagnation and the decline of American elites. Quoting him, saying, if technological innovation were actually driving real prosperity, our elites wouldn't feel increasingly competitive with one another over a dwindling number of prestigious outcomes. Vance calling Thiel's talk the most significant moment of his time at Yale. And then after Yale Law, he went on to work at Thiel's law firm. And
really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Corporate law. Yeah. Then he was, then Vance, he had a little career in venture capitalist.
Yeah. I knew some of that.
Yeah. Thiel hired him to join his tech fund. Vance really was just like, to my understanding, he was kind of like a journalist for a long time. At the beginning, he was just like, whenever he was a Marine or whatever, whenever he's over in Iraq, he was like a journalist over there or something. Like,
oh really? I didn't know what he did.
Yeah, he was like writing articles or doing something like that.
So here's my question.
Yeah.
So like, what do we as like, the sub $100,000, type people?
Yeah.
We're not out there. I mean, I hope you're making, $250,000 to $300,000 a year. I hope that's the case. I'm not.
I'm not either.
I'm a single income guy. My wife's stay-at-home mom. Like, I'm not making the giant bucks.
Yeah.
But so like, I guess my question is like, so like, what do people in like our shoes do about this? And those are
Well, I thought,
and how much of it? So I think that we're probably both on the same page. Like, do you trust mainstream media?
Never.
Like,
well, you can trust they're probably telling you like the general idea of the story, but just depending on whichever one you're watching, they're just blaming the other side.
They've been fed that from somewhere.
Yeah.
And I don't think that they're getting the facts from anything credible anymore. So we can't trust the mainstream media. So the caveat to almost all of what we just said, I also wonder how much of this have we just been fed to start, going down the conspiracy theory rabbit trails, like we're being fed this. We were fed this, for the past 10 years or however long it was, is that, the Barack Obamas and the George Bushes and all these people, which, do I think they're crooked? Yeah. Do I think that Biden's crooked? Yeah. Trump seemed to be the one that wasn't crooked.
I was getting ready. Whenever you asked, what do we do? I was my comment was going to be, well, I thought that's why we voted Trump in.
Well, and I still wonder if the mainstream media just hasn't, if they haven't just, brainwashed us to an extent to believe, like, what if some of this stuff isn't truly going on like what we think it's going on? Is part of my question. Like, my gut says I still, for right now, trust Trump. Like, I still have a gut feeling that there's something else going on, whether it's a backdoor, military type operation. I think there's a military operation going on in the United States right now. I think that between all of the illegal immigrants that were coming in, I think that some of those people I don't think that they were just like low income people coming here because they need a better life. Like, I think there was probably some incredibly intelligent people that were forced in to go to specific places and do specific things.
Sure.
Like, even to the point of like Epstein style stuff.
Yeah.
Like blackmailing type things. So, because we had 10 to 20 million that were let in, to think that all of them were just like half homeless people. Like, I think that there was a lot of that. And I do feel sorry for a lot of those people. But I think that there was also an incredible amount of criminals. And I think there was an incredible amount of just very intelligent, planted people that they were the reason that there was that many that came in. Like, they can hide amongst them. They can blend in and get to wherever they're going to do certain things. So I wonder, like, how much of it is a movie that we're just seeing that it's really not what's going on.
Oh, for sure. I think all of it.
So, like, with that being said, I guess, like, with Trump, like, I wonder how much, like, good he really is doing that we're just not hearing about, because the right and the left, neither one want us to hear about the good with Trump.
Right.
Like, if there is good going on, like, maybe we're just not seeing it.
Yeah, I think that's on purpose too.
Sure.
Yeah, like I said, it's like, whenever you dig into that Peter Thiel stuff and you start seeing this Antichrist talk and you start seeing about what he's doing and the technologies they're trying to put in place over the United States, everywhere, and like, you start to look at it as a whole, you start to be like, whoa, wait a second. Again, it's like, and this is where I'm at. It's like, I don't think, and I've said this before, this is not a Democratic versus Republican issue. Like,
no, it's an elite.
It's the ones in charge. And then of course, you look at mainstream media and who owns the mainstream medias, and more rabbit holes, but you look at who owns them, and then you see what kind of information is being put out, and it's all divisive, and it's all deceptive, and it's all strategic, and it always just seems to come at the right time. And it's like, when's the last time you turned the TV on and seen anything good?
Sure.
It's like things wouldn't be going well for them if things were going well for all of us together. Like, it wouldn't. That's not how it works for these people.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's I don't know. I hate like I said, I had a lot of faith with Trump, I was like, dude, because my main thing, I was like, I want to know, like, I'm tired of paying taxes to pedophiles. Is pretty much what it comes down to.
Me
like,
too.
That just irks me whenever I think about it. Like that, like we all pay taxes to pedophiles. Like, just remember that every time you look at a paycheck, there's taxes. Pedophiles took them.
Yep.
I don't care. I'll argue that to the death.
Yep. Same.
And that, like, I was like, okay, if anything that he does, I was like, no more wars. I'm good with that. I don't, I said before, I don't think we should be involved in any wars. I don't think we should be involved in Israel wars. I don't think we should be over here bombing Iran with nukes over like some half-assed report that they've got all this stuff going on. And, there's never any proof to it ever that they had any of this stuff going on. We just continue to, what I feel like, come to Israel's aid whenever they call. We show up with bombs, but whenever we go to Afghanistan for 20 years, they don't send the first soldier.
Sure. Yeah.
Like, it's those kinds of things that just like irks me. It's like, I was with the whole like America first idea that he was running with. Like, enough tending to these, no more aid to Ukraine. We're done with that shit. We're not sending any more money over there.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not that I don't feel bad for these people, but like, We've
got
around.
Homeless sleeping on our streets.
Look around.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
That's my point. It's like, there's so many people that are struggling here. You're reading stories, especially around the area here with electric bills being as high as they are. And people are, I read this story. This woman just got her lights turned off. She's like making decisions between groceries for kids and keeping the lights on. And it's like, but we just package up a couple billion and send it overseas, and we have no idea where it goes. And we send it over in a loan. If we would send this stuff over in grants, they would have to provide like reports of like how it's used, and they, we have to have, I don't know, what itinerary, whatever you want to call it, of basically where this money is being allotted to go. But whenever you loan it in the form, whenever you give it in the form of a loan, you don't, it doesn't matter as long as, and then, oh dude, here we go. But it's just like the same stuff with Israel, like, dude, we lend all this money, and whenever it comes time to pay it all back, do you think like Netanyahu's going to the Israeli treasury and pulling out these billions of dollars? No, they're calling their American Jewish people that are lobbying in the United States, and he's borrowing the money back. So he's really doubling it all. It's just like, it's so exhausting.
Oh, I get it.
It's so exhausting. And like I said, it's like, I'm not trying to be that guy that's just like anti-Israel, because it's not like, it's not even, you have to keep in mind too, we're not talking about like biblical Jews here.
Sure. And I don't think that's the majority of Jewish people. I think we're talking about like the elites over there that are the ones causing the problems.
I think that's a very important part that doesn't get added, and I'm responsible for that. But I just did it. But it's like, you have to keep in mind, I'm not talking about like, again, like the Jewish people, because there's a difference between these people, I believe, like Netanyahu.
Sure.
And then just like your run-of-the-mill Jewish guy. That
absolutely.
It's not the same.
Yeah.
I don't know what the word is, what you'd give Netanyahu. Satan, maybe. It's just, but like, it's not the same thing. Yeah,
a plant from somewhere.
It's not. They're not the same people.
Yeah.
So I think that's we should make that very clear.
Yeah, you're talking more like government of Israel.
Versus which is not biblical Israel.
Sure.
By the way, and I think a lot of Christians. Again, I don't know that much about the Bible, but I've looked into some of this and like was like learning about how biblical Israel is not the Israel that there is today. And it's like, to my knowledge, was Israel in the Bible was a person original?
No, it was a country.
It was
the children of Israel, which I think was like the descendants of Abraham. This was something that like, I am not well versed on the whole Israel topic from like the biblical sense. So like, I've had this conversation with my pastor, and I think he's actually going to start addressing some of this here in some like sermon series here in the next, I'm going to say, little while. I don't know the exact time.
I saw that post he made. He's about to get a message from me. See if he wants to come talk to me.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I've got tons of questions. I've got tons of questions for him. And I want some of those answers. And I've had the conversation where it's like, when it comes to current events, like I don't have time because I do have to work, and I don't think that this is a bash on my Christianity at all. I can't spend 40 hours a week studying out theology. Like I just don't have time. Like I work 40 to 50 hours a week. I've got to spend time with my family. Like I want to spend time with my family, and I think that is something that God also wants. God is a very family-oriented God. So therefore, like when it comes to some of that stuff, like I want to hear from my pastor, a person that I trust, to teach me some of this stuff, and I want to know those things.
Yeah.
I do think that the time we were walking into, is a biblical thing. Like I think that we're walking into a time in history where, I mean, the Bible talks about, like there's going to be a point where he separates the wheat from the chaff. And if someone's not a Christian, like then they aren't going to believe that. And that's their prerogative. But my belief is that we're coming into a time where there's going to be a separation. The Bible talks about the separation of like the wheat from the chaff. And I think that we're kind of walking into that. The Bible talks about how lukewarm Christian, I think it's like Revelations 3, it says that if you are a lukewarm Christian, that he's going to vomit you out of his mouth.
Yeah.
Like you're hot or you're cold. And I don't want to be a cold Christian. Like I want to be on the side that's hot. I think that we're walking into a time when we're going to see a restoration of family. I think that we are going to see a restoration of family. People, non-Christians alike, are coming back to they're tired of this, I mean, I'll just say it. They're tired of a lot of this LGBT crap. Like, I think it went from, if you look over the years, it went from accept us, like that community kind of said, hey, we want you to, it essentially went, treat us like people. Okay, cool. Like, I'm 100% on board with that. Like, I have no problem, like, having conversation with someone that's homosexual. I think that my opinion would be, it's a sin. But I also think that having sex outside of a marriage is a sin. Like, that's what the Bible teaches. Do I have other sin in my own life? Absolutely.
Right.
Am I going to, like, you're going to have sin in your life. Me and you still have conversation. Like, I don't hate the gay person because they're gay. I disagree with, their bedroom activities, simply because the Bible says that this is not right. Mm-hmm. But the Bible also says a lot of other things aren't right.
Yeah.
So in the LGBT community, it went from, we want you to treat us equal to, now we want you to start affirming us. You have to tell me that what I'm doing is right. So Zach, you have to tell the gay person, like, hey, what you're doing is right. And if you don't, you hate gay people. And then it went from that to all of a sudden, like, okay, now if you won't marry us, like you pastors that won't marry us, we're going to start, protesting out against you.
Right.
Now it's getting to the point where it's like, hey, we want to have transgenders in schools. And then it went further beyond that to now kids should be able to have themselves mutilated.
Yeah.
Like, there is a line in there where I'm not, like, Christian or not, people are like, I'm tired of this crap.
Yeah.
Like, don't shove this down my child's throat. This isn't something that should be taught in school. The pornography, like, we would never go in a school and openly show a pornographic movie. But you're seeing video after video of these kids saying, this is what's in my reading material. Let's teach you. There was one that I just watched the other day where it's a little boy that got up to the school board and it was like, this is how you teach a child to suck dick. Like, that shouldn't ever be a thing. Yeah.
In a book? And that was in a library?
That was in his school's library. And it wasn't just in the school library. This was on a stand at the entrance to his school library. So it's those those kinds of things where people are just like, I'm tired of this. And so I think that we are coming to a place of a restoration of biblical values. I think that when it comes to family, when it comes to a man is a man and a woman is a woman, like, those are things that we're restoring in the United States. I think that this is a time, you and I kind of talked about through text, like, we need men to start stepping up. not men going out and being violent and, you killed Charlie Kirk, so we're going to start, looting and burning down cities. But I think that it's time for men to step up, like I said, like with integrity and confidence. Like we need men knowing who they are. You're not going to change my values. You're not going to do this to me, or you're not going to come against my family in this way. I'm going to stand up for what's right, what's morally right. I think that this is a time when you're going to see men coming back to church. I know, just like we saw like around 9/11, churches were packed for the weeks following that. Like, dude, our church was freaking packed last week.
Yeah.
I think that you're going to start seeing some of that. People have biblical questions. They want to know about Israel. Like, what's the Bible saying? Tell me the truth about this. And we need men and pastors, that are willing to say, this is the truth and I'm going to stand on this. We talked about, the biblical view of Israel. I was always raised with support Israel. And now I am questioning not the support of it's who am I supporting? Am I called to support the government of Israel? Because when I see the government of Israel right now, I don't like it, at all. So I want some of those questions answered by someone that knows way more about the Bible than I do. If anything, the past few weeks they have spurred me to start reading my Bible more often. It spurred me to pray more. Like, at the end of the day, like, some of this is just, I don't know what to do. Like, so I'm going to pray. Yeah. Like, there's only so much impact I feel like I can make. So I'm going to pray. But I also am reaching out to, like, we have a men's group that's met for years, and we're trying to make an impact on our local community. So how can we as men start stepping up? So, like, we're literally out looking for ways to help people in our community without charging them. Right. So, like, last week we built beds for kids that don't have beds. Like, have you ever heard of the organization Sleep in Heavenly Peace? Mm-mm. I'd never heard of them either, but apparently they just build beds for kids across the nation that don't have beds. And they have like there's one for like White County. So, gotcha. We built, a significant number of beds on Saturday. There's a lady whose husband passed away a few years back, or maybe it was last year, and she has a wood boiler to heat her house this winter. She doesn't have enough wood for the winter, so we're splitting wood for her tomorrow morning. Like, these are things we're looking for, those opportunities. I think we should, as Christian men, be looking for when, Miss So-and-so down the road who's a widow, or just her and her husband, are elderly, they've got a leaky roof. Like, why aren't we going out and helping them?
Maybe you help maybe you help that lady on the side of the road change the tire instead of just driving by.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So, like, we're just looking for those ways for men to be able to step up in their communities and say, hey, we're going to be different. We're going to make a change.
Right. Yeah, I seen you guys are doing that. That's awesome. Yeah, it's the last, like I said, I've been, the last week has been just, so, yeah, going back to talking about the way that, like, the trans stuff being pushed and all of that, that's with the surface of all of this Israel stuff that's been going on. Now there's like all these resurfaced videos of, like, they're talking about Hitler and like all of that. Have you seen all these come up? Yeah. Where now they're like translating his speeches.
Oh, really?
They're AI translating his speeches. Yeah. Dude. Whoa. I'm not even going to get into what he was saying. I'm just going to say people should research that themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And I think there's going to be a lot of people really surprised with how much they might be like, oh, I might have voted for that guy today.
Sure.
I hate to say that.
Yeah.
And I'm not a denier of anything. I'm just saying you should just listen to it for yourself. And all he was talking about was just like, getting rid of the transgender, like believing in God, Christianity. You know, whenever they were burning the books, that's the books. They say that they were burning knowledge, but really he was burning the books of, they were the books that were documenting transgender and queer history research, specifically being targeted by Hitler. Those were the books that were being burnt. And then, let's just keep going. And then you want to look at, well, who wrote the history books? Well, they say that victors always write the history books. And then you look at who manufactured and published history books all across the world.
Sure.
I've
heard this stuff before.
It wasn't Germans.
Sure.
I'll tell you that.
Sure.
And you can guess who it is, but
yeah,
you've probably got a pretty good idea. Those are the same people that wrote the history books. And then you're going, holy shit.
Yeah.
And then you're going, why don't they talk about the Bolshevik Revolution, where they killed 60 million Christians or whatever it was, just 10 or whatever, how many years before?
Yeah.
I'm not saying Hitler was a good guy. He was deranged. He was insane, obviously. But did anyone ever ask why he was so mad at the Jews?
Yeah.
Did anyone ever look and see why he was so frustrated in the first place?
Yeah. I've heard that talked about, and I've heard the theory about the history books.
And this is not an attack on anyone. This is just literally what's been my algorithm since Charlie Kirk died.
Sure.
This is everything I'm seeing. It's all just coming to me in real time. This is just stuff I'm learning about over the last couple of days.
Sure.
And it's just, I think it's worth to look into, man.
Yeah.
Because it's whoa.
I think that it's good to ask the questions. I think
it's fair to be able to.
Yeah.
I
think that it's good to ask questions. I can admire with Charlie Kirk, the dude, he never backed down from a question. He would go intentionally to college campuses where he knew that people hated him, and he knew, especially in the beginning before he kind of gained a following, he would go to college campuses and say, ask me anything. Let's discuss anything. I will hear your point. I'm not mad at you. I want to hear what you have to say, but argue against me, and let's argue in a reasonable way. We're not going to be violent towards each other. I'm not going to attack you. Don't attack me.
Yeah.
Let's talk through this with facts.
Right.
So,
yeah, that's what I was, and then, you get into the logistics of it, and, it's 6 million Jews were cremated and you only had a room that was 25 foot by 10 foot, and all, how long would it really take to make this happen? And it's was there really even 6 million Jews in the area? Because a lot of people say they weren't. And then you can find the video. You can find the video of Anne Frank's sister, who is 98 years old or whatever she is now. Maybe I don't know. I don't remember how old. But her sister, who looked at pictures of the liberation of Auschwitz and said those are not real.
Oh, really?
Because there was no snow. She said those are not real. Or there's something to do with the weather, but it's Anne Frank's sister. It's a video. It's online. You can find it. Her in an interview, and basically her saying that those pictures are not real. She doesn't think those are really the pictures. Then she goes on to talk about that she doesn't remember the gas chambers that these people keep referring to. Gas chambers. She said they were showers. We were embedded with lice. We had to be showered and cleaned. They were work camps. Again.
Interesting. I've heard that a lot of these camps were human experimentation camps. So they would inject people with things. They would, there was stuff about limb regeneration. If we give people these certain things, so they'd chop off people's arms. They did experiments on babies. I heard all that kind of stuff. I've not heard the, the theory of that there couldn't be 6 million killed because of the chamber sizes.
It's how long would that take to kill 6 million people with just fire? Oh. And then where did you dispose of all the bodies? Where is everyone? That's a lot of people. It's a lot of bones. Where the hell is 6 million people? Again, I don't know enough about this to just like be denying anything or saying anything crazy like that.
Yeah.
But it's just like points that have brought up that I was like, oh, it was new to me. And I was like, I haven't heard that take. I haven't heard that side. And then it was like, well, I don't know. I never asked that question. That's probably a good question to ask.
Sure. I mean, that makes me think about even like Joseph Stalin. So, I mean, he was another dictator that they say
who controls Hollywood?
Sure.
The Jews. Okay, I'll say it. Why has there never been, why is there only movies about how bad Hitler was? World War II. Why is there no movies about any other countries and all the bad shit they did anywhere else? It's only...
Are there in other countries? I don't know if there are.
I don't know. I don't know.
Is that just because we live in the United States and we hear just the one side of it? Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know. I think it's a good question. Why is there only Hitler movies out here?
What are the German movies about World War II?
You're not allowed to talk about the Holocaust and all that in Germany. You can get arrested.
Really?
It's illegal. If you're a comedian there, listen to a podcast, comedians that go there and do comedy, they're told beforehand, no jokes about that allowed.
Really?
Absolutely.
Huh. That's really interesting. Like, is it in their history books at all?
Let's see. Okay, so it's legal. Yeah, prohibition of denial. Any sort of like denial jokes is illegal. I don't know about their history books.
Yeah, I'd be curious, like what the German history of that time period was like. I'd be curious what the Jewish history, like what's taught in a Jewish school, like what their history book looks like.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because then you start
to find a historian and bring on the podcast.
I would like to. It'd be cool. You look into like the state of the country of Germany whenever Hitler took over.
Yeah,
and it doesn't look too far off of what America looks like right now. And what had happened was,
or is AI generating that to make us believe that? That would be one of my questions.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
Like if you put again, part of it is, you could theoretically make any clip of Hitler online say something.
Yeah.
And say this is what the AI said, and most people at face value are just going to believe it.
Right. For sure. Yeah. No, it was like the state of Germany was super poor. They were war stricken. It was a terrible place whenever he took it over. What was it? The Jews had come in and basically set up their central banking system and started lending out money basically on the opposing side of the country, and ransacked, took over all their money like they do. That's why they've been exiled from 109 countries or whatever it is, 110 countries or however many. So that's like another thing I think that people should mention. It's like, I don't think 110 countries got it wrong.
Sure.
Like, I think it really, the last week, I'll say, I've really started to question, like, if anything we were ever taught in school regarding history of any of that stuff was really ever true. If any of it, maybe, I mean, I'm sure some of it was bits and pieces, but again, the other question, they only teach you about the one side of everything. And it's like, again, well, I don't know. Why was he so mad?
Sure.
What did happen? Oh, you found out, again, there was 60 million Christians that were killed at the hands of these people.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone's still so pro-Israel. And I'm like, guys, wait a second. Like, not that many years ago, they would have killed you.
Yeah.
And loved it. Have you ever read the Talmud?
No. I didn't even know what the Talmud was until here just recently.
Dude, that's a crazy, it's like hard to read. like make your stomach hurt.
Yeah.
You know, you're allowed to, you know, if you can molest a baby under the age of 3. If you do molest a baby under the age of 3, then they have to kill the baby because it was the baby's fault that drug the person into temptation to do that. So they have to get rid of the child, so they kill the baby.
Wasn't that? I thought that was more of the like Muslim belief of things.
I was reading the list of the stuff in the Talmud is what it said, and I'll see if I can pull it up. Maybe that, I don't know. Is
that considered a Jewish holy book?
Yeah, central text of rabbinic
Judaism.
Judaism, serving as a comprehensive record of the Jewish oral law and subsequent rabbinic commentaries, debates, and traditions. So isn't this where it conflicts with Jesus, right? Like the serving
what you just said definitely would.
Well, serving as the comprehensive record of the Jewish oral law. Well, wasn't that the whole reason that they wanted to crucify him? Because he came in and he said, no, he said, I am the law. You know, I basically because of him, he rewrote the law. He's like, no, the law is me. They were trying to say, no, this is the law of what was it, Moses or
the Torah, I believe, was like the law of Moses.
Okay.
Which is like, I believe that is it in the Torah, Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy.
And they were wanting Jesus to stone this woman, correct? And he was like, hey, hold on a second. You know, now I am the law.
Cast the first stone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's whenever he kind of basically put his foot down and was like, no, this is how stuff's going to be now.
Yes.
And he was in crucified, you know, veils torn down. They tear down the temple because there's no need for sacrifice because God himself became sacrifice.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes. Jesus became the sacrifice. Yes.
Yes. Okay. I've been reading.
It's awesome.
I'm trying to figure it out because, you know, like I said, it's not like I don't have any, I'm not smart enough to just be out here having any sort of issue against one thing, but it's just like,
sure,
you know, how many coincidences, how many just questions, how many times is like before it's like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Something's not adding up. And now the overreach, and now, you know, again, leading all this back to like how this all started with Charlie Kirk being killed. And again, why is like, I don't believe it. I think, you know, whenever you find out about the $150 million that he turned down, and it's like, what was that? And it's like, who turns down $150 million, especially from the person that you've like been so supporting of? It's like, that cannot be. Netanyahu had to know that if that information came out with Charlie alive, that Charlie denied $150 million, he would lose every single bit of support from the American youth forever.
Oh, definitely.
That would be it. And he knew he had boomer generation America, still does. That's the only thing he's got in America. But if he lost the youth of America, he was in trouble. And who had the biggest influence over the youth of America?
Charlie Kirk.
Charlie Kirk with the biggest political, conservative or Democrat youth movement in the country. Like, he was not just a podcaster. He was not he did not just have a talk show.
What'd they say? He swayed the vote by probably 15 to 20%?
Yeah, he's been getting groomed. I mean, people are, you know, potential president of the United States, like one day. I mean, it was all in the works, I think. And then he turned down the deal.
Yeah.
He didn't want to shake hands with the devil. And I think it was a symbol that video got out for the world to see. This is what happens whenever you try to cross us. We run the show. You didn't, you turned down our deal. You were starting to ask these questions that we could not have.
Yeah. Do you think we'll ever have the true story come out?
I have no facts behind that theory, but in my honest to God opinion, that's what I think.
You think the true? No, I'm saying, do you think like the real story will come out? Like, do you think that?
No, never.
Okay,
never.
I don't either.
The Epstein list you'll never see. I think they've made it very clear. They killed JFK.
Yep.
The same. who was someone literally trying to do the same exact thing that Charlie was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Martin Luther King, all these people who questioned it, he said RFK had said you have to register your nuclear weapons defense systems as a foreign nation with the United States of America. Okay, that's how it has to be. If they do that, though, Israel is now subject to United States audits at any time to come in and view whatever they want. Israel's never allowed anyone to step foot and audit any of their stuff. JFK said enough. It's the one-way street's enough. He put his foot down and said, you are registering as a foreign nation. And he was killed 2 weeks later. Like, dude, like I said, this is just, I don't know shit. I don't know shit. I don't. I'm just looking at it and I'm like, how many coincidences? Like, every time someone gets close.
Yeah.
No.
Off with your head.
Off. And they had him. And that's why I don't think Epstein's dead. I bet Epstein's out on an island somewhere, dude. Probably still doing the same shit he was doing before.
Sure.
Like, there's people that think they caught him on a drone out on some island. I don't think that's probably just some shit. But I do think he's probably out there. He's probably...
Oh, sure. I think that there are...
Or they took him and they killed him. But like,
I think there's a lot of political figures that I think that they're dead and we just don't know they're dead already.
Mm.
I do think that, I mean, just look at Hollywood. Like, they can do so much with makeup.
Yeah.
I think there are people walking around in masks.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big one too.
That's a whole nother
trail. Yeah, I haven't been up into the Hollywood as much. It went, oddly enough, it went kind of dark, didn't it? And then also another, just while we're on, I forgot I screenshotted this picture. Let's just not forget, in the meantime of Charlie's assassination, all within the same couple of days, the U.S. House of Representatives passes an amendment on September 11th, 2025 that bans the Pentagon from awarding contracts to companies engaged in politically motivated boycotts of Israel. The day after Charlie Kirk's assassinated, the U.S. House of Representatives passes an amendment that does not allow the Pentagon to basically boycott Israel. It bans the Pentagon from awarding contracts to companies that are engaged in politically motivated boycotts of Israel. So if you're a company, it would never happen, but let's just say a company like whoever, Palantir, because I know they're directly related to our government. Sure. Let's say they decided one day that they were going to boycott Israel. Not ever going to happen, but let's say that they did.
You can't have a U.S. contract anymore.
There went all your funding.
Yeah.
You speak out against Israel, we literally pull your funding. They passed that the day after Charlie Kirk was killed.
Interesting.
Proposed a bill for Rubio. I don't know if you saw this. The day after Charlie Kirk was killed, Speaker, Representative, whatever, Marco Rubio from Florida flies out to Israel. He's been in Israel this whole last week.
Okay.
He proposes a bill that revokes the U.S. passports of Israel critics.
Really?
Yeah, this is a big one. This is one of the big free speech ones that a lot of people are really worried about. Let's see.
Huh. So can't even travel there.
So provision to give Rubio power to revoke U.S. passports over terrorism support allegations.
Okay. So not just like, I don't agree with Israel. Like you probably have to go a little bit beyond that.
Let me see if I can find. Get out of here. So the original language would have given Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State, the power to deny or revoke passports for individuals the department determines have provided material support to terrorist organizations. Given similar language employed by the Trump admin in other contexts, is believed to have been intended to target pro-Palestinian activists specifically. Since Rubio became Secretary of State, he has overseen efforts to deport pro-Palestinian international students and deployed an AI-powered catch and revoke system to target foreign national government authorities' alleged support to Hamas. So
on that note, though, we would do the same thing with people coming into the United States.
What's that?
Like, we would not let certain people come in the United States if we felt like they were, like, in any way, like, had terroristic, ideations or, like, had made comments about, I'm super not just I'm anti-USA, but I like.
No, these are U.S. passports, allowing Marco Rubio to revoke U.S. passports
to travel to Israel.
I believe
correct?
It's citizens it's U.S. citizens.
Oh, okay.
Basically, it's like if they're finding out, let's see, here we go. The department has the power to revoke passports for individuals the department determines have provided material support to terrorist organizations. Basically, they're trying to he's set out this AI system that they're now using in Florida, trying to, again, this whole catch the crime before the crime. And if they like suspect you of any of these deals with terrorist organizations, they're saying, again, whether that be pro-Palestinian activists or that's what everyone's saying their main target, because they're like, who else
but that would be with terrorist groups. Is pro-Palestine activists, are they labeled as terrorist groups currently?
That I don't know about.
I'd be curious.
Well, they throw Hamas in there, so I'm sure
that's what they're
referring back to is just Hamas. But so next one, House approved $650 million plus for Israel's missile defense. Marco Rubio travels to Israel to coordinate with Israel on a joint strategy to counter sanctions against Israel, led by Spain and parts of the European Union.
This is all September 11th, or right close to there.
All within September 11th. Yeah, it was all within I believe a week. I think it was all within a week. In between, basically now and within the last week, all of this has happened.
Interesting.
And then you look at the Republican, the Thomas Massey interview where he talks about the House of Representatives and how whenever you first get in and you're whatever you're voted in, elected or whatever, and how you get an AIPAC advisor.
Yes, I have heard Thomas Massey talk about that. And
him and that MGT were the only two that didn't. And whenever you're a first year member of Congress, Israel invites you to Israel and they court you to Israel for a week. Marco Rubio, that's what they just got done doing. Marco Rubio was there with 250 of U.S. Congress in Israel this last week. It's whenever you're a first year congressman, and they take you over there and you put on the kippah and you kiss the wall and you do the whole thing.
Yeah, because you get photographed doing that.
Yes, they just released the photos of Rubio with the kippah. Because he's been over there. Yeah.
Interesting.
It's we should make Netanyahu put on a cowboy hat and go lick the side of a Cracker Barrel. What are we doing here?
Yeah.
So what's going on? Take him, put a cowboy hat on. I saw one said put a cowboy hat on him and make him go lick the wall with Bass Pro Shop. It's when you don't see whenever you go to that wall too, it's you can't have crosses on. They say to put your crosses up because it's not safe over there to have this. It's when do you see Netanyahu coming over here and going to church on a Sunday morning? Or it's never gonna happen. You're never gonna see him doing that. You're never gonna see. It just seems like
I know Netanyahu was painted as just this religious, really good guy for years, and it's been here in the past 6 months to a year that's being questioned.
Oh, dude, he's the devil. In my eyes, did you listen to that Theo Von where he talked to that doctor that went to Gaza for 2 weeks and he served in the hospital in Gaza? Did you listen to that? Dude, he was talking about half of Gaza, they're living under tents. There's nothing left. There's no buildings left. Israel's
been leveled for the most part.
Well, Israel just started Monday morning on another effort. They just I was just watching the news and I saw it online where Monday morning Israel started another attack on the city of Gaza and is now leveling civilian buildings. And he said that the whole state over there is completely under surveillance. He said there's drones in the air 24/7. He said you walk out of the hospital and you just hear humming, and there's a IDF drone over the helicopter, and they're surveilling who's coming in and out. And he said he was seeing there was a woman that was under the tents are supposed to be they're not supposed to be allowed. You're not supposed to be able to shoot people that are just in their tents, right?
Sure.
That's supposed to be like a marked off area. And a mother who was either 3 months pregnant or had 3 months till she gave birth, one of the two, was in her tent and got lit up by a drone out of nowhere and lost her baby. And one of the bullets hit the baby in her stomach and killed it. And then they had to, pull her uterus and do whatever, and she can never have a baby again. Wow. Shot down by an IDF drone.
Wow.
He said, kids coming in with their intestines hanging out. And he said with drones, he said it's a wild thing because he said with people, typically whenever you see someone shot by someone else, he said it's like patterns are horizontal typically. And he said the people that are shot by these drones that are coming in, they're vertical. They're getting shot all the way up and down them. He said it's the wildest. That's a crazy. You should listen to that if you want like a little bit of an insight, because they just before Israel started another drone strike on Monday, they cut all telecommunications to Gaza. So there's no internet, there's no way to report, there's no way to see, there's no way to know. It's all been cut off. Yeah. So
interesting.
It's like, I hate to be that guy that's just like,
but everybody's talking about that.
Yeah, I hate to be that guy that's like,
I've not known all the details of it, but I've heard those types of things here frequently.
And it I thought like I had anything against these people up until like this is just stuff I've just been learning about this last week, and it's like, and then you see the amount of money that we give to these people to slaughter these people, and they want to hide behind that Hamas is over there doing it. And I'm sure Hamas has done their terrorist thing. Sure. I'm not saying that they're like some angels over there.
Sure, yeah.
But we're talking about some, and he was talking about Hamas, and he said Hamas over there is viewed as like Republican Democrat here. It's like,
really?
Yeah, he said it's another party. It's another political party. Like he said, he said it's just like over here, and then in Republican, you have your extremists one way or the other.
Yep.
He said it's the same thing. Like he said, all you get fed over here is they're all just like some suicide vest wearing, ready to just slit your throat. And again, that's what the doctor that said on that podcast on it was This Past Weekend is the name of the podcast with Theo Vaughn. I can't remember that doctor's name, but he's a doctor from Michigan.
Okay.
He's an American, but he's a Middle Eastern looking guy, but he's an American guy. I can't remember his name, but he spent 2 weeks in Gaza. He was granted 2 weeks to go into the hospital and take care of people, and he talked about just some of the stuff he was seeing, and it's like, dude, and like I said, I'm not saying my point. I say all of this to say this: I don't want to be involved in none of it. I'm not saying we should be pro Hamas, okay, before someone says something crazy. Yeah. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, why are we still
our house first?
Yeah, and why are we still supporting and sending billions of dollars to these people that are, call it what you want, dude, but like the whatever the people that study like the Holocaust and all those, it's a genocide, dude. They are annihilating these people. Yeah. Civilians, women, kids walking down the street, getting bombs dropped on them out of nowhere. Yeah. Like, it's insane.
Yeah.
And like, again, not that I'm pro Hamas, but I'm definitely not pro that either. Like, and I'm tired of someone telling me that I can't be like in the middle. It's like, no, I don't think that we should kill women and children, and no, like, the hell with terrorists. Like,
yeah.
I don't want nothing to do with any of them.
It's just a casualty of war, and I think that there comes a point where it is no longer just a casualty of war. I think that there is going to be casualties of war, but have we gone beyond that?
Take my money out of it.
Yeah.
I don't care. do whatever you got to do.
Wars in general. I'm just saying, like in any war, there's gonna be casualties, whether it was on our soil, whether it's overseas, or whatever it might be. But yes, there can go to a point to where we're no longer. It's not just a casualty. We're just shooting people. I mean, it was kind of like the beginning of like the Iraqi war. I mean, you listen to some of those stories from like on the Sean Ryan show. Like those guys would talk about like, dude, our orders were just to go kill them.
Yeah,
and they were just mowing down people.
Yeah, he said, so they would roll up on towns and just
level it,
and then carry on next town.
Yeah, and these guys were just given that order to do that, and they didn't think anything of it because they're just they're this 18-year-old, fresh out of basic training. Let's go do this.
They've been told they're fighting for this purpose, or that if it's not this, then they'll be on our soil. They'll be at our front doors, and this type of thing.
Now we're looking back on it, and they're looking back on it, and they're starting to question, like, wonder what this guy would be like. I listened to one guy who was a Green Beret, and he's I wonder what that guy was like. Like, I wonder what his.
I wonder if I met him over a cup of coffee.
Yeah,
he's would I thought he was funny? Like, that's what I said. I was like, I feel like it's just like. War, I don't know. It seems like war is just so like, it's like we're not past that yet.
Moneymaker.
Oh yeah. Well, that's why it'll never end. It can never end because these defense contracts, and it can never end. That's where all the money.
I think there's a point where war can be noble. If someone came and attacked the United States, and we had a force trying to conquer the United States, like I'd go fight. I'd re-enlist. But I don't think that. I don't think that we should just insert ourselves into any war.
Right.
So
that's where I'm at. That's what I think.
I do think it's okay to have allies, and you need allies that are going to say like, "Hey, we need some troops for this, or we need some intelligence for this, or we need some, ammunition for this." If I don't even know who all of our allies are, but is Spain an ally of ours? Is it France? I don't know.
Well,
I'm not well versed in all that.
Really, well, it just depends. Like I said, that's what. Rubio was just over there with Israel talking about negotiations because they're dealing with these sanctions from Spain. Because the United Nations all came together, and basically everyone voted but the United States to call what was happening in Gaza a genocide, and the United States wouldn't let it happen. The United States was like the one vote. The whole reason it's not been labeled a Holocaust is because the United Nations has to vote, and they all have to agree. Maybe not the United Nations, but one of these, and they have to agree. And to my understanding, it was the United States that voted no. They didn't think what was happening was a genocide, and so that's why it's not being labeled a genocide.
Does it carry more weight or something? Like,
well, no, I just think it has to be everybody.
Oh, it has. Okay.
And we're the only country saying it's not.
Oh.
And so all these other countries, to my knowledge, have pretty much turned their back on them. So it's on Israel, and they're all like done. They're all like pulling all their contracts from. They don't want to deal with Netanyahu anymore. They're all, and buddy, we're riding that ship to the end. So I don't know where exactly we stand with these other countries. I mean, to my knowledge, it's not to sound like some just whatever, but it's like, what are they really gonna do?
Sure, yeah. I guess my whole point was like, I think that it's good to have world allies.
Completely.
But again, like, we also still, even with, you're my ally, but if you're like, hey, we're gonna go beat this guy up, like, I should still question, like, why are we beating this guy up?
It's like, well, what did he do to you?
Yeah. Well, you come back and you're like, dude, like, my kid's in a coma because of this guy. All right, man, I'm on board.
Right.
Let's go find him.
Yeah.
But if it's like, he called me ugly.
Yeah.
All right, bro. I love you, but you're on your own here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's my whole, everything I've kind of said about how I'm feeling about things right now is just to say that, like, I don't agree with terrorists. I don't think that we should support really the insane bombing of anyone, let alone women and children.
Sure.
I don't see why you can't have both of those opinions. It's like, I just don't think we should be involved in none of it.
I get it.
And again, if you, another 9/11 happens, or, another one. But
CIA.
Israel.
Yeah.
Have you read about the dancing Israelis and
I have. I've heard all these. Yeah.
And they all were linked back to Israeli intelligence, and they all got sent back and deported out of here. And I mean, yeah, it was some Middle Eastern guys that flew the planes, but I don't think it was. I don't all the way believe Osama bin Laden told him to.
Yeah, I get
it.
I get it.
He may have told him to, but I just think there was other people that had knowledge. Because who was it? Netanyahu that came out right after the day after 9/11 and said 9/11 was a good thing for Israel. He said that in an interview. It's all over the internet. You can look it up. He said 9/11 was a good thing for Israel because now it brings the United States into these wars that we've been trying to get handled for all these years. Now, guess what has to happen after 9/11? We have to go raise hell in the Middle East for however many years, you know. And once again, Israel didn't want to send any soldiers in. Where was the IDF?
Yeah.
Where were they at? They didn't want no part of it then, huh? To me, it's like they're just like that annoying little ass brother that like wants to like get you in trouble, like start some shit, and then expects you to like step in and like have his back or something. And it's like, no, dude.
Yep.
You need your ass beat once.
Yeah.
Like, I can't help you anymore.
Yes.
Like I told you to stop. Like, so yeah, you know, it was all it just so again. Is there a fact that back any of that? But it's like, no, but another coincidence. How perfect after 9/11, how beautiful was it for them that now we have to come in and go to war with Osama bin Laden, who Netanyahu's been wanting to take out this whole time, but hasn't had a good enough reason. Well, guess what? No worries. The U.S. has a reason.
Yeah.
We're on the way.
Yeah.
We got it.
He's probably not even dead.
No, he's CIA too.
Yeah,
that's a fact. That's a known thing. He was,
I know.
He was a CIA operative back in the 80s.
Yep.
Osama bin Laden was, and his family was in charge of building all the military bases in the Middle East.
Yeah.
This is what I mean. It's not Republican and Democrat people. This shit is global. It's everyone. Jeffrey Epstein to Osama bin Laden, dude. There's a connection everywhere.
And part of it, like, I get to the point almost where I'm like, knowledge is power. Do I want to know everything?
Well,
I probably don't.
Well, I'm pretty much, I mean, I hate to, not like I'm set in my ways. I hate to be that guy, but I'm like, dude, we're done. It doesn't matter. I think our shot was Trump and they got him.
I don't know.
And then I was really hopeful for JD Vance, and I got down that rabbit hole, and I'm like, wait a second, he kind of scares me, actually.
Sure,
I'm like, I don't know if I actually, because sending JD Vance back into office is just, you're just sending basically exactly what's happening right now, right back into office. I mean, it's not going to change. Whenever you look at who his mentors and the people that have their hand on his shoulder is and who they're tied to, you're like, oh, well, it can never change.
I'll be much more curious to see what happens at the end of the 4 years than what it is right now. I'm optimistic, hesitantly optimistic. I'll be much more curious what the 3 and the 4 year mark look like for our country.
Yeah. And that's not to say that I would have voted for Kamala Harris because that wouldn't have happened.
Oh, yeah.
That's not what I'm saying. Okay. That would have been, it would have been the same thing, I think.
Sure.
Relatively the same thing. Because I believe this is not a bipartisan issue. I think this is a good and evil issue, and I think evil is sunk in deep. Is what I think. That's my broad consensus of everything I've just said. Is I think the good and evil is really showing their face right now. If you just step back and look at things a little broader, and the evil is they're not even hiding it anymore.
Yeah.
It's good and evil is winning.
I mean, the Bible talks about there's going to come a day when people say that, evil is good and good is evil. And we're there. We're at that point.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. We're at the point where, when does it flip, and what the hell does that look like?
Yeah.
Whenever.
You start talking about, if you were to put on the news a family that wants to have a dad going to work and a mom stay home and raise the kids, all of a sudden you're anti-woman, you're traditional, no, I just want to raise my family.
Yeah.
Well,
that's what they said about Charlie's wife. And she's got 3 degrees in a podcast and runs some. I mean, it was people were like, he was a misogynistic. He wanted his wife to stay home. And it's like, have you looked at her resume?
Sure.
Stop.
Yeah.
Just quit it.
Yeah.
But, it's, you make a good point. How do we be optimistic? I don't know. Because I hate to say it's not like funny, because it's not, because I think it's almost like laughable. Because to me, it's like, it's just super obvious. It's like, no, they've got us. And what they just continue to racism and transgenders and all these stuff and vaccines. And they just want you to just keep at it and keep at it and keep at it. And you just, the whole time, there's just all of this.
Oh, I know.
All of this.
Yep.
And this is where I've been at.
Yeah.
Stay down here, people.
Yeah. Oh, I get it. Absolutely.
I walk out the front door now, and I look both ways before I walk out now, because I'm like, I just don't know what's going on anymore, dude. Like,
the podcast, they're after me.
Yeah, and I'll probably catch flack for this one, for some of these things, but that's fine. If any of the things that I feel like we talked about today, like, really sets you off in any type of way, like, reach out.
Let's have a conversation.
Let's talk about it.
There are some people on my social media that are adamantly opposed to me, and that's fine. Like, I don't care. But I had one guy, I made a post, and he wanted to spout off and say all this stuff, and him and another guy getting an argument on there. And I just stayed out. I'm like, hey, let's get a cup of coffee.
Yeah,
let's have a cup of coffee about this. Like, I'm not saying everything you said was wrong, even. Like, let's talk about this over coffee. Let's not have a Facebook war where, I'm starting to, call you names and get angry at you. Like, no, like, we can disagree. I won't mention his name on here, but there's one guy in particular that I've known for years. Me and him disagree on most topics, and he's married to a good friend of mine. I want to talk with this guy so bad, like, sit down and have a cup of coffee. Not because I want to, let me tell you why I'm right.
Yeah.
But simply just to hear, like, the opposite side,
yeah.
Like, hear the question, like, hear the questions, hear the answers. Like, let's talk about it. I'm not gonna, like, bring a gun and shoot you.
Right.
Like, we're just gonna have a conversation. I want to hear your side of it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's I think it has to happen. I think people have to, and I think people really, like I said, I think we need to shy away from picking one side of the aisle so hard, because I think right now we're so far.
Well, and we're scared.
That.
We're scared to have conversation. I think we're scared to have conversation because we don't know the best argument to, like, what question may be posed to us. Like,
well, because each side sucks for the most part.
Yeah.
Like, once you start to really dive into each side, you could pick apart each side.
Yes.
And you're like, it becomes hard to defend, and then you're like, well, shit, and and kind of like where I'm getting at now. I'm like, dude, I don't like either of them.
On my side of things, like, there's going to be things that I think that are very hard to defend. I'm not going to say they're easy to defend, and I don't have all the best answers. But I'd still rather have the conversation. Just tell someone, like, I don't know. I've not thought about that. I'll think about it.
The politics is so skewed that I think that debate has to be done for a while now. I really think that we're back to, like, caveman time moral debates, dude. Like, do we just allow the people living in the village next to us to just, like, be murderous and, like, kill people? Or, like, do we, is there any sort of, like, moral law and order of just, like, I don't care what you believe in, but, like, this isn't okay, and that's not okay. The same way with, like, they're trying this whole free speech and canceling people and whatever that whole mess is. But then it's like, I also don't agree with, like, them canceling these people, but then I also don't have, like, I don't morally feel bad for the people that have, like, are saying distasteful things about the situation. So it's like, I'm like in that, it's like, I don't know what's the moral, because obviously everything else it doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't matter what you care about interest rates and like gas prices, and, like, that doesn't matter right now. We're all broke. It doesn't matter. Like,
try not to.
Dude, we're all just getting by, doing the best we can, with what we got. And, like, that's it. It's like, do people have a right to just live and not be killed and like just want to love who they love and just like go to their job, man, that they hopefully love to do, and then they go home to like their family that they love? And if that's a guy or a girl or anything in between, like once the door closes, who cares? It's none of your business. Like, where's that at? Like, just leave everyone alone, dude. It's like, and this is all based within me as Americans. That's what I want for America. I don't care what's going on anywhere else. I don't give a damn. Do I think it's wrong? Yes, of course. Do I think it's disgusting? Absolutely.
Should we be involved? No.
Do I want it to stop? Yes. I would not say no to that question, but like, it just, again, keep my money out of it. How about that? You know, like, because hey, gas is, electric bills are high, buddy. I need eggs. I need eggs and milk and dog food and like, how about that? I'd like to maybe, take my wife to the movie on a Friday night and dinner, and I'll be worried about when the next bill has to hit or
you can't go on a date night without spending $150 anymore, hardly.
Yeah, it's these things, and I think that majority of people want those things too. I think I'd like to think the social media and the internet and TV will have you believing otherwise.
Yeah.
But if you set your phone down for a second, maybe just take a walk through your neighborhood or, to open your eyes a little bit, and like you see, that's what most people want.
Yeah.
Most people want that for the most, but not saying you shouldn't be ambitious and chase your goals and dream big, of course. But like, then most people just want to go home to their family at night and maybe eat a steak. And,
that's what I want.
Yeah.
Steak raised on my farm.
Sure.
Yeah. Roasted chicken over the fire.
Yeah. However you want, you can wings, legs, that's the beauty of it. Yeah, however you want it. And
cold glass of raw milk.
Yeah. That's where I think it needs to come back to. It's like I think we're at that, you go too far left, you go too far right, and it all comes back around, and it's, I think we literally said that exact thing last time. There was a pendulum shifting the last time we spoke, and now there's another one. It's the pendulum's coming back the other way, and people got so caught up in all these fancy things, and now they're seeing that like, oh, maybe a simple life isn't the worst thing in the world to have. A little bit quieter. Maybe all of this that's being talked up isn't what it's meant to be. And so that, that's wishful thinking.
Good thinking. I like it.
That's the mindset I'm trying to have, because everything I see on my phone anymore tells me not to have that mindset.
Oh, it does. It does.
So who knows? We'll probably catch flack for this one.
It's okay.
Someone will be upset about something. But I just encourage people to look into some of the stuff that, we talked about and said, and
ask questions.
Be curious, dude. Yeah. And maybe start looking at where your money goes and start being angry about it.
Yeah.
That's my advice.
I'm with you.
That's all I got to say. Man, I knew this was going to be a good one. I'm glad I got to talk to you. Dude, who knows? We'll see.
We'll see what happens.
6
months from now when we do it again, whole different conversation.
It'll be a whole different. It'll be wild to see where we're at. Anything else you'd like to add?
No.
Before we get off here, I appreciate it.
It's been good. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Make sure you guys checking out Hydrate 12 IV Therapy. That's HYDR 812 IV Therapy. Find them on Facebook and Instagram. Get a hold of Briley. Get that IV scheduled today. I appreciate all of you guys. That's Sutton10 at Active Nutrition and Supplements. If you guys want to support me, if you guys want to buy any supplements, head over there to ANS or just mention my name at checkout in store here in Evansville. That's greatly appreciated as well. Thank you guys for the support. I love you. Goodbye.